But moving on, so after I got that done, and this look like it's gonna be a pretty long video, and I might not post this tonight. I might do it tomorrow. But it is getting dark outside. I'm getting tired. I'm getting hungry. I want to relax. I've been going all day. I went shopping on the other side of town. But anyway, so what I did after I did that, I decided to get the right hip done first because they were explaining to me that it was the worst looking one. It was the most painful one. So I wanted to get that one done first. And I'm not going to go into too many details about each little step, but when I got my right hip done, y'all, I barely remember like going to the emergency, not the emergency room, going to the hospital for the procedure. Um, I don't remember them doing the anesthetics or anything. I remember telling them what I wanted them to do. I had an option. I don't remember waking up in the recovery room. I remember waking up in the hospital room. And I remember a few of the people that visited. The left hip, I remember everything. I like put it like drilled it into my head. Like I want to remember this stuff. So the left hip, I remember everything. But the right hip, it wasn't that bad. How long was it? When I got the right hip done, everything went fine. Um, the surgery, the first day, they get you up and they get you out that bed. And what they do, they make you use a, I can't think of the name, but the little helper. It's like a little clamp. It's a long stick with a clamp on the end, and a little trigger button, and you be able to pick stuff up. I can't remember what it's called. A lot of older people use it when they can't, bend down or reach up high to get something. But I remember the first day they got me up out of that bed, and they had me sitting in the chair, and I had to practice putting on my underwear and my pants with using that grabber, which was pretty easy. It wasn't that bad, as long because the way when you have hip surgery, the only thing they really don't want you to do is bend at the hips more than 90 degrees. So whatever chair you sit on, don't get your butt on the floor, but whatever chair you're sitting on or whatever, it can't be uh, higher or lower than 90 degrees because they don't want you to pop that hip back out of that socket after they done did all that hard work. So after I had the first hip surgery, the right hip done, like I said, it went well. Everything was fine. The therapy went well and everything. And I can't remember exactly how long I was in therapy, but I went home. It was like the next day. I went home. Um, I do remember I went down. They had me sitting on the pillow, so I wouldn't be because again we were in my mom's equinox when we were going home, and so I wouldn't be sitting so low. They had me sit up on the pillow, so I had to, they rolled me down there, but I had a walker, and I had a walker and I had crutches because it was a walker, then crutches, then the cane, but the walker and the crutches first. The walker first, but we had like a townhouse. So when I finally got home, I had to use the crutches to get up the steps. And the in-home nurse, she taught me how to do that or whatever. And I got in, and we had a blow-up bed in our living room, so I wouldn't have to go all the way upstairs to my room. And I had a blow-up bed, I had the TV, I had everything I needed right there, a little table. And I set my butt on that blow-up bed, and the in-home nurse, she came, and, they work on the dressing and make sure everything's good. After a while, they'll take the staples out, and she will stop coming. And then I would have occupational therapy will help me just the first couple of days to get up to the bathroom and brush my teeth, to wash myself up. And I had my mom there to help. My dad, my sister would do some things. My cousin came, and she was she was a respiratory therapist, and she was there. She was helping. She's freaking awesome. Help me clean up and all that good stuff. So, like I said, I can't exactly remember how long it was that I went to therapy, because after a while of being in therapy at home, I would then go out to therapy. And I went to, I think it was called West County Rehabilitation. Yeah. Because at that same time while I was doing it, while I was getting better, that with that first surgery, I was actually volunteering at the the therapy center. After I did my therapy, I turned around and I was volunteering for them because it was a part of one of my classes. I needed to volunteer, and they let me do it there, so that was awesome. So the right hip, like I was saying, it's not really much to talk about the right hip. It was everything was all cool. Um, and I was everything was fine. Taking classes, most of my classes at the end, actually all of my classes at the end, when I was close to being done with school, were online. So it made it so easy. The only time I had to go up to the school was to take a test, and my dad would take me up there. We roll me up to the steps, roll me up to the room, and I take the test. We go home. But when it came time for that left hip, baby, let me tell you, that one was a doozy, and nothing completely bad happened. But I was good and healed and ready after this right hip. I thank God that I did this one first. Because when it came to that left hip, I didn't have to do the phoresis again. Everything was cool. I had to go in for the surgery. And like I was saying, I drilled it in my head. I want to remember everything that happened with this left hip because I didn't remember nothing about that right hip when it came to the actual surgery and the prep and all that stuff. So the left hip, I remember going into um, the surgery location. I remember going back in the room, the prep room. Um, we had to wait. It wasn't too long, but we had to wait a little minute for the anesthesiologist to get there. And I remember the choice that they gave me. They said either you can do general anesthetic, where they put you completely under, or you can do kind of like it's not local, but I can't remember the name of it because local is just a little area, but I can't remember the exact name. But it's almost like an epidural. They stick it in your back and they'll numb you from your chest down. So that's the choice that I made. I didn't want to be put on it. It's not like I was scared or anything, but that's just a choice I made. They recommended that choice, and that's what I did. So they stuck me, in the back. Like I said, it's like getting an epidural, and they put the medicine in, and you're numb from the waist down. So they first have you sitting on the side of the bed, and I remember it did not hurt. Sorry about that. Somebody called me. So like I was saying, I remember it did not hurt when she stuck the needle back there and did the medicine. I was actually looking. I was like, "You done?" She's like, "Girl, yeah. Go ahead, lay back, cause you finna go real numb, real paralyzed in a second. Go ahead, lay your butt down." So I laid down, and while the medicine was working, I remember they had my legs up with my knees up, cause they had to put the catheter in. By that time, I was numb, so I didn't feel it. Thank God. Whew. Cause I remember getting the catheter out. Not fun. Not fun. So I can imagine getting it in. Not fun. But anyway, so they put the catheter in. I remember it was funny because once they were done with the catheter and the lady, I watched her, she pushed my legs down because by that time I was completely numb from the chest down. I couldn't feel anything, so she had to push my legs down. I couldn't push them down myself. And it felt like my legs were still up in the air. Cause then they told me that, and I was just like, this feels so freaking weird. Cause like imagine that your legs, you feel your legs when they're up. I mean, then you're completely numb from the chest down, and they put your leg down, and it still feel like your legs are in the air. It was so strange, but cool at the same time. So after they did that, and they started and I remember it was actually another funny thing because my cousins were there, and my aunts were there. We all said a prayer and all that good stuff, and everybody just kept saying like, "Kelsey, why are you so calm?" I was like, I don't know. I have no reason to be scared. Whatever happens, happens. I pray and pray and pray and pray that they know what they're doing. They did all right on the right hip. I would imagine the left hip would go fine. It's the same orthopedic surgeon. I would pray and hope again that everything will be fine. And whatever happens, happens. If I die, I die. What can I do? I can't bring myself back. I can't stop it. It is what it is. So everybody just kept. All the nurses was just so calm. Everybody else be having a panic attack right now. But I was like, I'm cool. But it was like, well, we gonna give you a Valium anyway, just in case. I'm like, whatever, I don't care. I'm already cool. I'm already calm. Like I said, it is what it is. So they did that, and I remember them. I laid back, had my little bonnet on and everything. It was cold in there. I was cold from up here on up where I can feel it. So they had me wrapped up in some nice warm blankets. And I remember them, all right, say bye to everybody. See y'all later. They rolled me back to the operating room, and I remember it was a bunch of people in there. I can't remember exact faces. I don't even remember seeing my orthopedic surgeon in there yet, but he might have been like in the corner of the room washing his hands or whatever. Because when they gonna get started right away. So I went. Well, I remember rolling back in there, and I remember the anesthesiologists because they sit by their head and by your head, and they watch you because you have your little breathing mask on. It's not the actual anesthetics or anything. It's just a regular oxygen mask. So he put that on me. He was like, "All right, Kelsey, I'm gonna give you the rules. I don't know if you remember from last time, but we're gonna have you count down backwards from 100." And I remember, I was like, okay. So they had me lay on my side. It was on I laid on my right side because they were going to start on my left side because they had already started cleaning and stuff. I saw them do that, and I turned back around and looked at the anesthesiologist because he was like, "Don't look down there, just look at me." I remember that. So I looked at him. He was like, "Okay, we're gonna start counting now." He told me, "Put your arm out." He told me to put my right arm out and put my left arm out. Just kind of lay him. So I'm just like laying there, and he was like, all right, now start counting." And he was like, "I bet you won't make it past 99." And I remember I counted to 100, and that was it. Because they still do kind of they heavily sedate you because you're still sleep basically, but it's not under anesthetic, general anesthesia. You're not like knocked out. But anyway, so then I remember, I remember waking up in the recovery room. Like I said, I was gonna make myself remember. Sorry, you guys, this person is really trying to reach me, I guess. So it's my bad. They called me again. So like I was saying, I remember waking up in the recovery room, and I remember it was just so weird. I remember my parents were standing like out in the hall or whatever, talking to the lady, and I was just like whining because the medicine, like I said, I don't remember the first surgery, but this surgery I made sure I remembered, and I wanted to see everything that I could, and I remember like whining like a lot, like if you're ready to start crying, I was just like, and then I think I remember my mom asking or whatever, like what's wrong with her, like it's just the side effect of the medicine, the strong medicine. She's coming out of it, and I was, and then the nurse came up, and I was just like, "Ma'am, I'm itching," and I was itching in spaces that it's just like, no matter how much I scratched with my nails, it wouldn't work because it was like a itch up under the skin. That's how sometimes if you have a reaction to the strong medicine like that, that's what happened. So she gave me like one of those like if somebody is like out of it or something, and they start vomiting, and it's one of those straws that they like a suction straw that they stick down in there to get that stuff out so they won't that stuff won't go back and down into her lungs. She gave me one of those, and I was just, because I couldn't bend. I know I couldn't bend to reach down. I used it to just scratch, and I was yeah, itch. And like she kept asking, "Are you in pain?" "No, I'm not in pain. I just itch." And I just had this weird whine going on. It was so weird. I remember that. Then going into finally the hospital room, and the doctor came in. And like I said, this little second surgery here, this left hip, he came with a little bit of bad news. Because they came in like everything went pretty much fine with the surgery. I was like, "What do you mean pretty much fine?" Well, while we were in there, you have pretty brittle bones, right? When you because you got sickle cell. And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, well, I was, your femur, the top of your femur. Once they got all that dead bone and all that stuff off of there, I had to drill into because he showed me, it's like he showed me the little tool that he was using. It was a little cute little silver tool. I was drilling and hammering down in there into your femur, and when I hammered, it must have went a little bit too far because your thigh bone cracked. And I was like, "Excuse me?" He was like, "Yeah, you have a hairline fracture in your femur at the top because it's split." And it wasn't like I said, it was a hairline fracture. And what we had to do, and you'll see when you see your scar, we had to cut you a little bit further in order to put a bolt and a screw around there so that'll heal. And the bad news about that is you're gonna have to wait. I think it was like 3 weeks. No, 6 to 8 days. He's like, you have to wait 6 to 8 days before you could put full pressure on that leg so you won't be able to go directly into therapy. And I was like, what? So he showed me the x-ray and he showed where the bolt was at, and the scar on my left side is longer, probably about 2 or 3 inches longer than the one on my right side, because they had to cut further to get that bolt around that bone so it can heal. It's like he was saying I couldn't put my I think he said like 65% or something like that. I can only put 65% of my weight on that leg. So I had to wait about 6 to 8 days to let the bone heal a little bit first, and then I can go to therapy, because I wouldn't be able to put the weight down on that leg in order to, heal it, to work it out, to get it strong again. So that was the bad part about that. I mean, like I said, it wasn't too bad, but it was a little bit of bad news. It's a little bit of setback, but everything after that went pretty smoothly. Same thing. Went to therapy. I had the therapist come in, and it was actually a little quicker because I went from the walker for a couple of days to the crutches, and I was able to walk up and go to my room instead of staying on that the blow up bed the entire time. I was able to go upstairs to my room, and then after like a couple more days after that, I was on the cane. I was rolling, that. Even after what happened with the femur, with my femur cracking and having a hairline fracture or whatever, It still seemed like the left leg was healing a little quicker than the right. I don't know why. Maybe it wasn't just as how it felt to me. Maybe it was going a lot quicker because of the fact that I had already gone through it and I knew what was coming. So I went to therapy and everything, and here's another, like some more pictures I'm gonna show you guys. But after all of that was done, everything was cool. The her surgeries weren't that bad, to me anyway. I can't speak for anybody else or whatever anybody else will be doing, but they weren't too bad for me. But after I, you know, got that done and everything, and I took my final test for my class, and I aced them classes. I was on the dean's list when I graduated. Um, but when it came time for graduation and everything, kind of gave myself a choice because excuse me, I'm so sorry, y'all. I was still on the cane, so it was still a little struggle because that was March when I got that done, and I had to wait 6 to 8 days to start therapy. And then after I started therapy, by the time I think I graduated May 18th. By the time that came around, April flew by. By the time that came around, I was still on that cane. I mean, I could walk a little bit without it, but it was still a little weak, so I needed that cane. So I was kind of debating with myself what I was gonna do, because once I got up there, I told them, I had already told them when I was done getting all my graduation stuff together, had my cap and gown, fill out all the paperwork, all this stuff. I told them that I may need handicap assistance, and so I made that choice just in case, which I actually end up using. You guys, when I got to the graduation, you had to pull up. It was at in the I guess it was a gym, because the school now, it has, way after I graduated, it has a new gym, but it was the old gyms they had, and we had to pull up and they had to let me out, and I got in a wheelchair so they can roll me in, and I went ahead and with the wheelchair, because I was rolled across the stage to get my diploma. I didn't care if I was crawling. I was gonna get that daggone diploma, even though the real one, they mailed it to you in the mail. But anyway, you're gonna see a few pictures of that or whatever. So, that's pretty much my hip replacement surgery. It's been all good since then. No pain or anything. And people always ask me whenever I tell, because if you look at me walking, you wouldn't be able to tell, as you shouldn't have to be able to tell, because they're new hips, new hip joints. There should be no reason why you can look at me and be like, "Did you have your hip replaced?" No, you won't be able to tell unless I actually told you, and then people be, "What? You are so young. What you get your hips away for?" And then I gotta go all the way into the story all over again. But I don't mind telling it because it's my testimony. But anyway, that's the actual story that I want to tell. I don't have anything extra to tell or whatever. Like I was saying, this will probably be, I have to cut up this video maybe. It is a little long, and it's gonna be even longer with those little snippets and pictures and stuff in there. But that's my story I got to tell, and I'm gonna keep. I mean, I got other stories for y'all to see, and I'm just kind of telling you has been going on with me throughout my life. I'm not telling this information for anybody to feel sorry for me, feel bad for me. I don't want you to feel bad for me. I don't feel bad for me. So why would you feel bad for me? I'm good. I'm good all the way up until, it's time to go. But I'm good, okay? I'm good. But anyway, so I want to thank you guys for listening to my story. Like I said, it's going to be a 2-part thing probably, with some awesome pictures and some other good stuff. So I do want to thank you guys for watching, and anything I missed, I may mention it up here, in the comments or in the description box below. But like I was saying, I want to thank you guys for watching and listening to my cool story. And I hope that you like, comment, subscribe, and share. I will see y'all later.